Welcome to the sound, and it's a hot one in Oregon. We're having a 3-day heat wave. And experiencing the heat wave with me, both of us part of the have-not class, and I'm referring to air conditioning, Evelyn Holland. That's right, Evelyn is a singer, songwriter, and guitar player, and a big, giant Opeth fan, as you can see from her shirt. Yes.
Yeah.
What's new with you?
I actually played a gig at a coffee shop Saturday. It was my first gig. Actual gig in a couple of years, and it's more like an audition, but I was talking with the promoters. There's two of them. One's like more on the he was recording everything and taking pictures, and I apparently, from what the other guy told me, he's gonna build us a website or something like that. But he's part of, Propulsion Networks or something like that. Both of them are. It's like a promotion company, and they're connected with a bunch of venues. I'm not sure.
Cool. Well, below me, we have Kyle Walls. Kyle's a singer, songwriter, and a guitar player. What have you been doing?
Yeah, on my channel, I just started a new series of videos called City Music Stories. And actually, after this first one, and I had to do my hometown, St. Louis, where I am.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I did. I have Chuck Berry and Nelly. So after that first one, I had the second one already slotted, but the comments from the first one, someone commented Chicago, and someone commented the Tielman Brothers, which we reacted to, and I didn't know that they were actually from The Hague in the Netherlands. So I have those videos coming up.
We also have one more special guest introduced today. Of course, I could never, ever forget Jennifer Valaquette, music teacher, saxophone player, and flute player. Jennifer, we're gonna be doing more work on that Miley project. But what else are you doing?
Yeah. Well, I just put up Jar of Hearts actually on my. I did a cover yesterday, Jar of Hearts, and I ended up improvising a little bit in the middle of the song, so that was kind of fun. So I just did it on saxophone. But yeah, mostly for singing, I'm working on the Miley thing, which I've never really sang in public before, so it's gonna have to be I'm gonna have to perfect it, but.
Your voice is not an instrument. Yeah, you use your voice as an instrument, but it's not like a well-tempered thing when you get started, like a piano or a guitar or whatever other instrument. Mm-hmm. It's going to vary, and you just have to embrace that. And then after some muscle memory practice, it's not an issue anymore. And that couldn't have been more accurate.
Wow, I like that.
Because I was trying to use my voice like a guitar, and I was so frustrated.
Yeah, and it gets frustrating because when you're so used to hearing things in tune, and then when you sing out of tune, it's like nope.
Yeah.
That's how I am with my singing. Matthew's got the cooling pad over there.
Ice pack down my shirt.
Oh, I feel so bad.
I got personal air conditioning unit installed. If I lean back against the chair, my back gets all cold. I like it. Oh, I said I got a bag of tricks here. In here, I have additional ice water. I have a frosty mug, and if necessary, I have a Scottish ale to cool me off.
Yeah.
And then I got 4 of these therapy gel packs. And of course, to start off, gotta have the cold brew. Get some high brew. Ba-da-doop-a-doop-a-doop-boop. High brew. Boop-boop-a-doop-boop. Kyle, why don't you introduce us to your pick?
All right, this is Ayu Gusfanz, and hopefully I'm saying it in a way that makes sense to people that know how to actually say her name. So she is an Indonesian guitar player. After doing a few Leap reactions, and including Faye, Asan, and Josephine Alexandra, Ayu was one that was commented on or suggested by commenters many times as well. So I'm excited to, it seems like the fans that Leap have, they love that type of stuff, which makes sense if you're an Elite fan. And so they're eager to get you to enjoy some more of their culture through music. So that's really cool. So this is her playing Moonlight Sonata, the Beethoven piece, the third movement. So I have not heard her play yet. So this is kind of cool.
Me neither.
And her description, she's described as a progressive rock guitar player from Indonesia.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I love progressive everything. That's what the sound is all about. And the way I say it, I mean it. You know, you can define anything as progressive if you feel like it has advanced music in some way. You know, it could be a really super interesting background vocal that could be progressive. You know, whatever. It could be anything. Progressive elements, you know, that's enough to me to count it as progressive. It could be progressive, insert however many other styles after it. Like we were calling the incredible Indonesian music of Isyana Sarasvati, we were calling that progressive opera / has thrown in metal too. You know what I mean? But it was definitely more opera because there's opera the whole way through. But then there's sections that are really cool metal. So without further ado, Musicians Panel reacts to Moonlight Sonata, third movement, Ludwig Van Beethoven, cover Ayu Gusfanz. Here we go!
next week.
Okay.
Wow, that was awesome.
Okay. Like. Okay. No. Seriously. That was pretty freaking awesome. That was so cool, man. I was really amazed at how much of the finger tapping she was using. Like, there was some pick technique in there too, but like, I didn't see. I mean, there was so much of that finger tapping in there, and it was such a great explanation, a reinforcement of what I was just talking about when I was referring to counterpoint, right? Because like we had that low rhythm guitar power chord / bass unit that was always moving together, which is common in a lot of metal songs. I think that then on top of that, she had like, say, the cellos and the bass, arrangement, the part notes right from the thing doing that. And then she's doing all this melody stuff up on top. I thought the track was really, really well produced. I thought it sounded really good. And it was just such a fun arrangement. Like I don't know. Like it was Beethoven, but it was slamming Beethoven.
It reminded me of the first Bill and Ted movie where, they take all the figures from history to the mall, and Beethoven goes to a music store and he's surrounded by organs, keyboards, whatever. But it's actually Nuno Bettencourt playing like a Beethoven-like piece. Mm-hmm. And this reminded me a lot of it as if, you went back to the 80s and gented it up just a little bit on the backing track. Mm-hmm. That was really cool to see her technique. It reminded me of like YouTube guitar players like Stevie T, Jared Dines, Rob Scallon and stuff, because they do a lot of the tap kind of sweet tapping kind of thing where it's all legato style, and legato means like instead of picking every note, you're using your fret hand to play those notes and stuff.
Yeah. And, the fact that, those diminished chords were just so well executed.
Did Beethoven had that much diminished? Or
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to remember this piece. It's been a long time since I, heard proper Beethoven.
When you're a beginning songwriter, right, and you're learning about diminished and augmented chords, and you hear them, you're like, I'm never going to use that. And for a long time, you probably don't. But there's just that certain sound that a diminished chord or a half diminished or a diminished seventh will give you that you can't get from a minor chord, no matter what you do to it. You know what I mean? Because of that tritone in it. It gives this dissonance that's unlike any other in music. The blue note, right? Well, we call it the blues. And, if your roots here, I'm talking about bum, 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 that one note, the half step in between the fourth and the fifth. We were just talking about the fourth and the fifth and the root, right? In the blues, right? Yeah. And so we got that blue note. That's that in-between note there. And that's what that diminished chord brings. And I just thought that, she played Beethoven. And I'm assuming she made that track, but I don't know where that track came from. I think it sounded like a similar style to her, I guess. I don't know. Maybe if people in the comments know, you're certainly welcome to chat about that, comment about that, and let me know more. I always hunger for more.
I enjoyed it for sure, and it does take stamina to keep going with something like that, even with legato. I've tried to learn a few Jason Becker pieces myself, and that's just, I've learned phrases, but I don't think I can I'd have to study it a lot, and I couldn't remember an entire piece like that. That's just that's what I'm more astounded by when I see this. It's just like the memorization of the whole entire piece, because there's so many notes.
Oh yeah, it was like just so fast, just so lightning fast.
I have
Incredible.
a question for all you guitar players. What is that thing she was doing where she was like walking up the guitar? Like, what is that? That was so cool.
Do you mean up the guitar neck or between the strings?
Up the guitar neck with her left hand, like, or no, was it? Yeah, no, she was, yeah, no, with her right hand. She was going like
Finger
that.
tapping. That was the first thing I was
Oh.
talking about at the beginning.
Okay.
Was how much tapping she was doing versus picking, with the right hand.
Yeah.
She was doing an incredible amount of tapping. Kept going back to that technique, and like tapping is cool because it allows you to play really, 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 really fast if you can master the timing of it, because you can then combine it with hammer-ons and pull-offs on the left hand in order to create complicated runs that you can't reach with your left hand because your fingers just can't get that far apart unless you're maybe John Petrucci or Josephine Alexandra or somebody with just these gigantic reach that's just insane.
I'd like to say something about that.
Go for it.
It does depend on the scale of the guitar in that case.
Yes. You could be playing a smaller scale guitar.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And then, I mean, it depends on like how big your hands are. I have medium-sized hands, but for some reason, I feel more comfortable on like a longer scale.
Mhm.
I'm not sure why, but maybe that's just from playing bass.
Okay, are you talking
I guess it all
about?
depends.
Are you talking about like, full size versus 3/4 size, or are you talking about 25.5 versus 24 3/4 inch?
He's talking about the
scale.
neck length,
Right.
not width.
Right. I'm saying, are you talking about like the difference between full size and 3/4 size, or like the difference between Gibson and a Fender?
Full size and 3/4 size.
Okay. Yeah, because I asked in our reaction to Josephine Alexandra, was she playing a 3/4 size guitar, because I saw that reach from the F on the first fret of the 6th string all the way to the A on the 5th fret of the 1st string, and that's a mammoth reach for anybody. And she was making it look like, that was breakfast on a Wednesday, Obviously she could stretch way further than that. And so that's why I was questioning, was it a smaller scale guitar? And that's fine. Dude, some people are like, oh, are you saying that if you were doing that, that's cheating? I'm like, no, right? Why would... is using an alto sax cheating versus using a tenor sax?
No.
Right? I mean, you can get to the high notes easier on the alto sax, but is that cheating?
Is hiring a soprano singer as opposed to a bass singer cheating? No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So my point of that is that if she was using a slightly smaller scale guitar, like a 3/4 size acoustic electric, like a Baby Taylor, for example, or something like along those lines, I don't care.
It seemed like she was using a regular scale guitar. I was trying to think
incredible reach.
Yeah. Well, okay. Here's like when I was giving guitar lessons, I'll give you this free little tip, because this is kind of cool, and this is something that helps me kind of stretch. Remember, your hands are ligaments and tendons as opposed to like a lot of muscles. Yeah, you got muscles like in your thumb. So you got to approach stretching your fingers out and with that idea in mind. So what I do is I'll take one hand, and the idea is your bones in your hand, you want to stretch those out because that helps your fingers reach, and just a little bit of flexibility in your hand bones. When it comes to your fingertips, that range is extended. So like I'll do stuff like this a lot on my fret hand, and then you can really stretch your fingers in. And plus, moving your elbow around, that vantage point too can really make that that distance a lot more manageable too.
Right. Whether you're playing with a bent wrist, you have a smaller reach, or if you're playing with a straight wrist,
more like your elbow.
Position. Right.
How you, your shoulder and elbow, because that's something I always tell people, because I've given Skype lessons and stuff. Even though that's cool, you do have to take a moment and like move your camera and say, now look at my shoulder, let's see what I'm doing with my elbow. Sometime I'm doing this, sometime I'm doing that. And, because all that makes it easier, to manage your instrument. So a little tip for guitar players that, are interested out there.
Yeah, I really like that, man. Flipping back around to your pick, Kyle, of Ayu. I thought the counterpoint was great. If I had one critique about the background music, and this is not her performance. This is the background music.
It's probably the same thing I'm thinking.
I'm picky, okay? I prefer to hear the bass guitar do something different than the lowest notes of the rhythm guitar. I mean, maybe sometimes on the chorus or something it makes sense to have it go bass and then the guitar play fifth and then the octave fifth. So that way you get that really thick, giant wall of sound power chord 1-5-1-5 from the bottom. You know, that can be cool, but like that was pretty much the whole background track was the bass and the rhythm guitar were just playing that same line an octave apart or whatever, and it sounded good. I prefer to hear the bass doing something different, and then that way you have another voice of counterpoint. So you have the bass maybe going and then you have the rhythm guitar maybe going so it's different a different line.
Well, it seemed that genre, you know, it's
I was gonna just to finish up. I have that same criticism of pretty much the bass and rhythm guitar lines of that whole genre, right? Because I just feel like it's a little bit more, and even Dream Theater does it sometimes. You know what I mean? So it's not like you can't do it, but I felt like it was that way the whole song. And maybe just to break it up a little bit, it might have been cool to have the bass have a solo, or rhythm guitar drop out, or have the bass do something totally different. Where the rhythm guitar maybe plays with more silence or scratching or something percussive. I'm like I said, I'm arguing about 1% of 100.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say the backing track seemed really loud, and obviously you can see in the background she has her DAW recording her as she's playing. I guess that's her version of a Leaf cigarette and stuff. But to me, I would suggest, bump up her guitar like about 6 dB or so, because it a lot of times is really buried in the rhythm track, and as someone that produces my own voice, my early songs producing my own voice probably should have been about, the same 6 or 8 dB louder than where I had it, just because I wasn't used to hearing it,
Yeah. People, go ahead. Go ahead, Eve.
No, I encountered this with doing everything myself with the last Keys of Solomon record. It was just like, do I need reverb here to make it sound bigger, or should I put some effects here? Should I do multiple vocal layers? I mean, I still came up with what I was completely satisfied with, but you learn as you go along.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Who was it that said a painting is never finished, it's only abandoned? Right?
It's almost like the songwriter story. Someone is watching a songwriter write a song, and they ask, how's it going? They go, it's just not going very well. And they're like, oh, that's too bad. And the songwriter looks up and says, but it's not done yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because we always think it's not going too well. It's like,
non-music people, and maybe non-creative people in general don't understand that arduous process that it takes to get to the finish line, and even then you don't feel like you crossed the finish line.
Yeah.
It's tough. And it's really hard producing your own vocals. It's really hard, because who wants to spend hours sitting there listening to themselves sing line by line, note for note, and be the one who's choosing, each take, and, be the one who's, choosing the video clips. And, we have to do that when we're self-employed here, trying to get something going, like on my channel, like I'm doing everything.
Yeah.
Like, it's my channel, like, you know, and you guys are my help. You guys are my team, you know. You're my staff, and that's it. I don't got nobody else, you know. There's nobody running the computer or changing the camera or, you know, doing none of that. I got to do all that. That's why I'm doing the chats at the end, and I just think it's just so awesome to do this, man, because we always have great music and we always have a good time. Remember, everybody, go to all of our YouTube channels, smash up the like button on this video. Subscribe to Jennifer's music page.
Please
Subscribe
do.
to Kyle Wall. Subscribe to Evelyn Holland. Kyle's pushing towards 10,000 and Eve is pushing towards 1,000. We really need your help. This is a big channel drive. If you support Matthew's Music Lesson Studio, please support the rest of the channels in the network. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, everybody, and share this out so lots of people can see it. You can get bonus content from me on Patreon. I'm doing 4 videos a month now on Patreon. I got some lost time to make up for. So 1 video every week, bonus on Patreon. Patreon.com/Matthew's Music Lesson Studio. Go over there now, sign up. Please also, Matthew'sMusicLessonStudio.com. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time on the Sound Live. Thank you guys so much.